This is a topic a lot of guys have been wanting me to cover for a very long time. I just had a one-on-one consultation with a subscriber, and he's actually in love with this type of woman. He's been in a relationship with her for 7 years. He says he can't let her go. He cares about her too much. She means so much to him. So I asked him one simple question. What has she done for you this past year to make you happy? And he couldn't answer it. See, that's what the narcissist wants you to think. They want you to think that she's the only one that's going to love you and care about you. She's the only one that's going to take care of you and be there by your side. They don't want you to progress to bigger and better things. They don't want you to see that the grass is greener on the other side, that your life will be better without them. The goal of a narcissist is to keep you in a mental straitjacket so you won't progress, so they can put you on and off the shelf, so they can love you today, hate you tomorrow. They can come 1 week and be gone for 3-4 months, then come back whenever they want to. Something I noticed about narcissistic women is they typically prey on weaker guys, nice guys, guys who believe in this fairy tale ending, guys who don't know their value. See, when you try to leave a narcissist and you get tired of their games, what they will try to do is make you feel guilty. They will get very angry. They will get very hostile. That's because they can no longer control you. So I came up with 5 signs a woman is a female narcissist. The first sign, you are dealing with a female narcissist. And I'm quite sure this happened to you many times. It's happened to me a lot of times. You text a woman and she texts you back one-word responses. Or she'll text you out of the blue from a random number and she'll say, hey, hi. And then you'll text them back, hey, what's up? Hey, how's it going? Hey, who's this? And they never reply back. That's the thing. If they do reply back, it'll usually be 16, 24, 3-4 days later, and they'll say something to the effect of this. Oh, I'm just now seeing this. Ha, ha, ha. Or I was so busy. I'm just now seeing your message. Ha, ha, ha. And you're like, okay. And then you try to reply back right away and say, oh, okay, it's all good. And what they'll do is just ghost you. And they'll wait 2, 3, 4 days to reply back. And you say, oh, I've just been doing a lot of stuff. Hey, what you... All to keep you coming, to feed the beast, to give her all this validation. See, it's called breadcrumbing you. They text you one-word responses instead of, asking you how your day is going or, just basically communicating like an adult. What the narcissist will do is she'll just make it appear as though, oh, she has a lot going on. She's so busy. She is such a high-value woman. And it's like it doesn't take much to reply back to a text. See, that's what the narcissist wants you to think, that you are of less importance than her. So when she does finally get back to you, what it's going to mean to you, it's going to mean a lot. You're like, oh, man, she was busy. Oh, she was doing that. No, the narcissist is never busy. Matter of fact, no female is that busy to reply back to your text in a timely fashion. So if you feel as though, man, I haven't heard from this girl, I just replied back. What's she doing? That's because she needs validation. She wants you to think that, wow, she has a lot going on. So when she does text you back, you're excited to finally hear from her, even though she's not of any sort of importance. So if you feel as though, man, I haven't heard from this girl, what's going on? And you start to question the communication between you two, you are dealing with a narcissist and she wants control of the communication and situation. So if you try to say, hey, let's hang out or something like that, let's get together, what she'll do is she won't respond. Then she'll let a day or 2 or 3 days go by. Then she'll say, hey, what's up? And try to resume communication. That's because she doesn't want to do anything you want to do. What she wants is total control, attention, and validation over text. Number 2, the narcissistic woman has no empathy. This has happened to me a few times when I've been in relationships with women or dating them. What'll happen is we'll be hanging out and everything will be going cool. And then she'll just start crying. And you're like, oh, what's going on? Or she'll start an argument and you try to correct her or say, hey, that wasn't right or something like that. And she'll start to just cry and point the finger at you. And you're like, wait a minute, you started this. What do you? And somehow every interaction, every conflict that you both have, it's always your fault. She always winds up blaming things back on you. It gets back to you. You're too loud. You're yelling at her. Oh, I'm the victim. A lot of women do this in court as well, especially family court. They blame the man, they blame the husband or father, say, oh, he did all this stuff to me. That's because they want sympathy from other people, but they don't want to give any sort of empathy to others, right? So what will happen a lot of the times in arguments, what they'll do is they'll say, so, you see, told you you're going to leave me. I know you're going to leave me. See, nobody never loved me. And you're like, wait a minute, I do love you, baby. But wait, I do care about you. I would never leave you. And that's to get you back into their control. So now you're like, oh, I love you. And you forget about all the stuff that they just said, all the negative stuff that they did, because they want you to feel as though, listen, you're the only one that's going to care for me. So it kind of makes it feel like you are important in a way, but you're not really important to them. They just want to keep you there and be the victim so they can continue to play their game. Number 3, and this is very common for the narcissistic female. This has happened to me so many times. What they'll do is they'll break up with you, right? They'll say, hey, we're not on the same page and I need space. And you're like, okay. And it's confusing because you're like, I thought everything was going good. They might have said they love you 2-3 days ago. They might have just had sex with you last night. And all of a sudden, they need space. All of a sudden, you're at different places in you guys' life. And you're trying to piece things together. And you're like, man, and then you say, okay, I still care about her. And you just give her space. And when you do give her space, what's going to happen is she can come back and pick you up off the shelf and put you back anytime she wants to. The narcissist game, ultimately, is to have total control over your mind, your thoughts, your overall well-being. So instead of completely saying, hey, this is not going to work, it's over with, I'm moving on, what most women do, they'll break up with you, they'll leave you, but they'll leave a little breadcrumb there. And they'll say, listen, I need space, I need to work on myself. All the while scouting other talent, going for other guys, hooking up, and then they can come back and be with you and say, oh, I'm fine now. Or if it doesn't work out with another guy, they can come back and say, oh, let's just be together. Also, if a woman breaks up with you, what the narcissist does is messed up, is they'll just call you or text you out of the blue years later. And you're like, hello, who is this? And it's usually from a different number, or they'll send you a friend request on some sort of social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. They'll just get in touch with you somehow, all so they can just wheedle their way back in through that nook and cranny. And you be like, oh, okay, hey, how's it going? And the reason why you're like excited to see them again, even though they left you and broke up with you many years ago, is because there's no closure. And you're like, well, I still remember I loved that girl 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, I moved on. I moved on with my life. I'm seeing other women, but man, what could have been? You know, what if? And you think about all these what ifs and different scenarios. So you invite her back into your life. But what you don't know is she's been sleeping around, screwing different guys. It didn't work out. The grass wasn't green on the other side. So she just snuck her way back in. And here's the thing about the narcissistic woman. They have no remorse when they do it. They hit you back up. You're like, they say, hey, how's it going? I had a woman do it to me not too long ago. Hey, what's up? And you're like, hey, and you're thinking like, well, you left me, but well, okay, all right, we can hang out again. And you're just excited to see him again because you were confused when she left you. And now you're like, man, she's back. Wow, I can't believe it, right? So if a woman does any of this and she gets back in contact with you, or she wants space or needs a break, just completely cut her off. Number 4, this is obvious. She needs excessive admiration. She takes a ton of selfies. She's always posing. She's always talking about different things that's negative on social media so she can get sympathy. She's always posting different memes, subliminal stuff. She's always snapping pictures. I mean, you can look at Instagram. It's full of narcissistic women because they need validation. They need others to make them feel good, right? They need likes. They need comments. So they're like, oh, I feel good about myself. And wow, these guys are commenting. People want me. That is the thing. If you happen to comment, hey, beautiful, you're so sexy, or you try to DM them and slide in their inbox, say, hey, can I take you out sometime? They'll just reject you. Say, no, that's because they don't really care about, cultivating any sort of relationship with you or hanging out with you. They just care about the supply you're giving them, that attention, that admiration, that validation. They don't, and his thing, they would never really like your stuff on your social media. They would never comment and say, oh, you're handsome, that's cool, or whatever. They only want validation from other people. They love taking selfies. They love going on trips. They love just doing all these different things to make it appear as though that they're really important, that they're actually fun and exciting. But deep down, they're hurting. They're not that fun. They're boring, and they don't really have a life like that. They just want to go out and take pictures of food when they go to nice restaurants, and usually it's on another nice guy's tab. And they're just taking, pictures different places and here and there. And that's because they want to show the world that, oh, I'm so cool, I'm so fun, even though they're really not. Last but not least, number 5, the narcissistic woman, what she will do is she will blame everybody else but herself. She will point the finger. It's everybody else's fault but hers. Give you an example. Let's say you catch your girlfriend texting another guy, right? Or she's flirting another guy with a text, or maybe have called a guy, or they exchange erotic messages, nudes. What'll happen is when you call her out, she'll say, oh, I don't know who this guy is. And you're like, what do you mean? You're talking to this guy. She'll say, this guy, he's annoying. I don't know. He's a friend from work. He just keeps texting me. I don't know why he's texting me. And they've having full-blown conversations. Or she'll say, this guy at the bar, he just keeps annoying me. I tell him to leave me alone. I tell him to stop texting me, but he just keeps doing it. And you're like, oh, well, stop texting him. And she's like, I know, I try to tell him not to text me, but you see how it's always somebody else's fault? Also, what the narcissist will do, and this happened to me many times, when you're at a bar or a club or a venue and you're trying to talk to a girl, and you say, oh, you're having a good conversation, and she's vibing, the music is going, boom, 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 and you guys are having a drink or something like that. What she'll do is you'll try to say, let's exchange contact information. Let's hang out sometime. Let's exchange numbers. She'll say, so how often do you come here? And you're like, oh, I've been here a few times. And you try to, move the conversation or interaction forward to exchange contact information. But she's going to change the subject. She'll also do this when you're trying to text her to hang out. You say, so are you free these days? Let's hang out. And she would never reply back to that message. She'll wait a while, or she'll talk about something else. They like to change the subject, and they don't want to answer your requests, but they want to ask you questions and continue that conversation going because they want to be in total control of the situation. So a lot of women, what they'll do, they'll just completely change the subject. They'll say, well, did you come with here any friends? So where are your friends, or where do you go to work at? And you're like, you want to exchange contact information? You want to exchange numbers? And she would never give you her number. And she'll say, okay, I'll be back. I'll go to the bathroom. And she'll never come back, just leaving you there like, well, okay. Guys, if you're dealing with a narcissistic woman, cut her off, because she's going to only look to lead you on, to get validation, to leech off you, to point the finger, to make you feel bad. And she will never cooperate. She will never do anything that's going to benefit you.